Excellent. Looks like the session just started. So welcome everyone. We'll start again. My name's Stuart Easton, and so welcome to the fourth PMO Leader Annual Conference. So I'm going to be talking about why executives undervalue PMOs. I don't know if you can see the slides or not, but I assume you can. Joey, just stick something in the chat if you would, or give me a thumbs up to let me know you can see the slides. You can't see the slides. Joey, anything you can do to get the slides up there? At the minute, you're not missing much. It's just the title slide. And good morning, Rachel. It's early for you. Thanks for joining. While Joey figures out how to get the slides up, about a month or so ago, I was at the PMI World Congress out at the PMI Global Summit out in LA, and speaking there. And the question I was probably asked more than any other is, why do the execs not understand what we do as PMOs? Why do they undervalue the PMO? Why don't I have my seat at the table? I'm going to explore that today. And then we're gonna look at how to fix it. We're gonna look at 4 techniques specifically that you can use that'll really transform your relationship with the executives in the area of portfolio management and governance. We have a whole bunch of ebooks and videos and all kinds of things. If you click on the QR code or scan the QR code, you can fill in the form there and you can download them. Normally, if we were doing this in person at that point, you would get a little rubber duck. This is one somebody gave me yesterday. I love it. The rubber ducks have become so popular now. People are sending me rubber ducks from all around the world. This one's German. I don't know if you can see this. He's in his lederhosen. He's got his little beer stein there and his little sausage, which is a lot of fun. So I can't give you ducks today, but we're going to use the ducks to have a bit of fun and explore this topic. So Joey, just quick thumbs up that the slides are up now, are they? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if you can see the slides or not, but I'm going to assume you can until somebody tells me that we can't. Not yet, I'm seeing. So Joey is probably running around quickly in the background. So let me just start with some introductory stuff, and we'll make up the time in a minute. So I've shown you my little rubber duck. We're gonna have lots of ducks and lots of silliness in this session, I hope, but it's a serious session, right? If you're a PMO, probably the most serious issue for you to think about is how to serve the executives better, right? Is how to get them engaged, because at the end of the day, they pay for the whole thing. Right? They pay for the projects, they pay for the PMO. And if they're not seeing a return, if they're not seeing value from that, then they're going to do something about it, right? So we are going to have a lot of fun once the slides are up, with the ducks, but it is a serious message. And I hope you're going to get some actionable insight out of it. So before I start showing you ducks, the question is, why ducks? Why do we talk about ducks? Well, the answer is, oh, looks like the slides are up. Yay, fantastic. So the answer is that a friend of mine was presenting his project to the CEO of a large petrochemical oil and gas company. And he was presenting his Gantt chart and his burn down reports and all this kind of stuff. And the CEO stopped him and he said, Roberto, I don't care if you have a boy duck or a girl duck. Right. So in other words, I don't care about your project. I just want eggs. I want the value from the project. And this is really the heart of why executives don't value the PMO. It's often because the PMO is focused on the ducks, not on the eggs. And the executives only care about the outcomes. They only care about the eggs. And this shouldn't surprise us because it's right there in the name, right? They're called executives, right? So our job as PMOs is to increase the amount of egg that they get. And I'm going to set myself a little goal today to show how you might double the ROI, double the amount of egg that you get from your portfolio. Now, we're all PMOs here, so when PMOs love a good dashboard, so I've invented the return-o-matic. On the left-hand side, we've got the sad duck. On the right-hand side, the golden egg. And of course, we want to be over on the golden egg side. So how are we doing as an industry? Well, this is AIPM data. Basically, half the projects are unlikely to meet business goals. If you look at PMI data, this line represents the number of projects that fail budget lost, right? Total car wreck time. Now, to put that number into context, it's hovering just a little north of 30%. So let's put that into context, right? Imagine you drive to work every day. You get in your car, and 6 or 7 days a month, every month, this happens, right? Would you keep that car? My guess is not. My guess is you would get rid of that car. That's how the execs feel, right? When projects are failing that much, right? The car's burning. This is how the executives feel, right? And that's at one level why the executives don't value the PMO. We're not done yet. Let's keep going on the valuometer. Around 60% of projects are late. Around 60% are over budget. Right, that's why the executives are stomping around like the Incredible Hulk. Right, they're grumpy, they're not happy. And if we could flip the valuometer around, then actually they'd turn back from the Hulk into Bruce Banner. They'd be really happy supporting the PMO, but the PMO supporting the business. That's the key thing here. So, excuse me. So I said I was going to set myself the challenge of trying to double the value, right? Double the ROI from your portfolio, just using these 4 techniques. Is that doable? You bet. So this is Mike Hannon, he's a good friend of mine. And Mike uses these techniques and a few others with his customers all the time. And these are absolutely typical results for Mike. You know, doubling the value, tripling the value. I had to rein him in a bit. He wanted me to use ones where he quadrupled and quintupled the value that the customers are getting from their portfolio. Right, but I figured nobody would believe that, because that's just silly talk, right? So Mike does this all the time, and he's been doing it for a long time. And the big difference, the reason I think this really matters for everybody now, is the technology has changed so that everyone can do it. You don't have to be a superstar like Mike to be able to do this. And how he achieves that 2x return might be surprising to some of you. It might not be what you think. So let's try and figure out how it happens. We're going to introduce the world famous duck detective, Sherlock Holmes. Here he is, Sherlock Holmes. Let's go look at the first clue. So the first clue is this number that we already looked at. Now look at that line. I don't care about what the number is at the minute. What I care about is the fact that all of those lines are flat, right? If what we're doing as an industry and as a profession was working, these lines would be trending in a good direction, but they're not. They're flat. And that's despite the fact that as a profession, we're spending, $7+ billion a year on PPM tools. Excuse me. The PMI alone has revenues of over $300 million on certifications, training, all that kind of good stuff. And it's not improving the data, right? The data's not improving. So the conclusion from this is that you can't project manage your way out of this problem, right? It's not a project execution problem that we're facing. Second clue. We're going to do a little bit of root cause analysis. So we've got delays, cost overruns, project failures, all that kind of good stuff. So why? Well, who gets the blame? The project manager gets the blame. So let's go talk to the project managers. Well, it turns out, in the vast majority of cases, your project managers are actually doing a reasonable job, or at least you can get them there with a little bit of training and support quite quickly. So it's not the project managers that are the problem here. So you talk to the project managers, you say, why? What is it that's causing it? And they say, well, it's the resources. The resources are always late delivering their work. So you go to the resources and you say, why are you late? And they say, well, we're always having to multitask. You're asking me to do 13 different things all at the same time. And I've got 5 different project managers chasing me for updates 3 times a day, right? I've got I don't get to, nobody leaves me alone long enough to actually do the job. That's why I'm late. Now, this isn't a resource management problem, actually. It's if we ask why again, the answer is because we've got too many projects. And why have we got too many projects? Because our prioritization and our portfolio governance isn't working. So if you want to fix project failures properly, you actually have to start at the root cause, which is this ineffective prioritization piece. And so I stole that little piece, that set piece from Laura Barnard. If you want to hear Laura do it, and she does it far better than me, by the way, you can click on this QR code and go listen to her. Third clue, right? Third clue. This was a study done by the PMI, where they looked at the top performing project delivery organizations in the world, and they saw that the average success rate delivering the actual intended benefit was kind of 60-65%, something like that at the time. For the best performers, it was consistently over 90%. Right? That's almost a 50% improvement in how often they deliver the business benefit. Now, the difference between those two groups wasn't really about the project management. It was about the portfolio management and the governance. So we've got these three little bits of data feeding together that lead Sherlock Holmes to the inevitable conclusion that the key to improving performance isn't about project management. I'm not saying you don't have to do project management. You don't need certified project managers. You absolutely do. Before we professionalized it as a profession, right, those success rates weren't in the mid-60s. They were in the 30s, 30% region, right? So that project management has already helped us double our success rates as a profession, but it's plateaued. It seems to not be able to take us any further. And the thing that unlocks further improvement is this portfolio governance, portfolio planning, portfolio management. You can call it whatever you like, but it's that portfolio level work that sets the projects up for success and makes sure we're working on the right things. So if we want to double our impact, right, our ROI, we're going to need some help. So we need some superheroes. Here they are, the Egg Vengers. I introduced to you today the Egg Vengers, and we've already met the incredible Duckling. Let's go meet some more. So I'm going to go through these 4 techniques. So this is where we transition from why execs don't like you, which is because you're not delivering the value. We've kind of come to the conclusion now that we need to fix it using these sort of portfolio management techniques. Project management isn't going to fix it. So we need to look at the portfolio level. So these are going to be 4 portfolio level techniques that you can use that'll change the world. Number 1, project prioritization and strategic alignment. So a typical portfolio, this is PMI data, typical portfolio will have so much, we'll have 20% of projects so badly aligned with the goals of the business that they should be stopped. Okay, that's a pretty good definition of waste. And so the Duckling of Asgard has a tool that he can use to fix this. It's a tool called AHP, Analytic Hierarchy Process. There has been loads of decision science research in how to do this. This is not a project management problem. Project prioritization and selection, I'll say it again, is not a project management problem. Don't listen to project managers. Don't listen to project gurus about how to fix it. This is a decision management problem. So the domain of expertise that we need to leverage here is decision science. And so the decision scientists have done a bunch of work on this, and the general consensus is this AHP thing is the way to go. Now, we don't have time today to go into great detail on how AHP works. The QR code, you'll see it again at the end. If you click through on there, we've got videos and tutorials and ebooks and all kinds of things that'll help you figure out what this AHP thing is. The important message here is that when you fix that, AHP will help you fix that. And when you fix that, you can cut that 20% waste out of your portfolio. And let's think about the value that brings. Okay, so let's imagine you're investing 10 million a year in your portfolio. 20% waste, that's $2 million. We're wasting $2 million. Well, hang on. No, it's worse than that because we expect a return from the investment. Excuse me. So let's say we're expecting a 3x return on investment. So we're actually losing out on $6 million of potential value. So when your exec says to you, hey, let's just, bang together a quick spreadsheet to prioritize stuff, because spreadsheets are free and easy, right? That spreadsheet's not free. It's costing you $6 million a year. Okay, so this is where we started on our valuometer. Our little dashboard's looking a lot better because we've just eliminated 20% waste, and we're doing a bunch, we're delivering a bunch more value to the leadership team. Yay, let's keep going. All right, so the next one is, so you don't actually, typically, most organizations, you don't really have one portfolio, you have at least two portfolios. You've got the keep the lights on, business as usual portfolio of stuff. And then you've got the change portfolio of stuff. So the green ducks are the change ones, and the yellow ducks are keep the lights on. And in our experience, most organizations are sort of way heavy on the keep the lights on side, right? 60, 70, 80% of the ducks are just there to keep the lights on. But the thing is that the execs only care about the green egg, the green ducks. They don't really care about the yellow ducks. That's not moving the business forward. So imagine what would happen if we could increase the number of ducks, increase the flow of projects, right? Let's say we could add one more duck to this little pile. Well, that's only increasing the flow by 25%, but it actually doubles the green ducks, right? It doubles the green value, the value that executives really want from the portfolio. So that's huge, right? So how can we do that? How can we do that? So very quickly, imagine this is a metaphor to help get the message across. So the road here represents your resources. Cars, they're the projects. And the people in the cars, that's the value. Because we don't build roads to get cars from A to B. We build roads to get people and goods from A to B. All right. So we don't really care how many cars go down the road. What we care about is how many people get to the end. So here we are. We've got zero utilization of the road. This means that there's absolutely no value getting to the destination. So we put some cars on the road, right? We're at 30% utilization. This is great. Cars are whizzing along. People are getting to the destination. Everybody's happy. So we add a few more cars, more value gets delivered. So I tell you what, I've got an idea. Let's go for 100% utilization of the road. So that sounds like a great thing, right? You can't get better than 100% utilization. Well, actually, we've got special words for 100% utilization of a road: gridlock, traffic jam, right? Pick your favorite word, right? That's not good. Not many people are actually making it to their destination at this point. Most people are just sitting still, going nowhere. So the same thing happens with projects. So so business value is the vertical axis, your utilization rate is the horizontal axis. So if you don't do many projects, you're not going to get much value. So we add more projects. Great, we're getting more value. The execs say, hey, add more. And at some point, your projects start competing for resources, just like the cars do on the road. They start competing for that resource. And people start multitasking. And what happens is that you then get less value, not more. When your people are multitasking, they're up to 40% less efficient. 40% of the capacity just goes out the door when they're multitasking. That's research from the American Psychology Association, right? So you keep loading more on them and you're getting less value, not more. That's like being stuck in the traffic jam. And most organizations are way over here, right? If people aren't actually loaded at 100% capacity, they're not loaded less than that, loaded more than that. It's 110, 120% capacity in many cases, right? So what we want to do, first of all, we're going to use AHP. So we're going to have a higher hill. We're going to get rid of the waste projects, the projects we shouldn't be doing. So we end up with a higher hill, and then we want to put ourselves on top of that high hill. And so AHP is one of those technologies I talked about earlier that enables us to move, that enables anybody to do what Mike does. Another one is AI that will help you select the portfolio that maximizes that value. So there are new tools out there that will help you figure out how to put yourself right on top of that hill. All right, third technique is staggering. So remember I said when people are overloaded, they are, you lose about 40% of the capacity, or up to 40% of their capacity. So most organizations, what happens on the first day of the year is you fire the starting gun, right? You had a big planning process in Q4, first day of Q1, all those executives who've requested projects start banging on your door saying, start my project. Can you get my project going? I really need it. So what you do is you start project one up here, and you do a little bit of work on project one, then a bit of work on project two, a bit of work on project three, back to project 1, 2, 3, and so on. Right? Your executives are happy because you can go back to them and say, hey guys, we're working on your project. So they're like, yeah, cool. But as we're going along, right, you hand it off to the next team, same thing happens. We don't get our first value until we're all the way out here on the right-hand side. And that's bad news, right? And people are being, and they're task swapping. So you're losing that 40% capacity, right? 40% of your capacity is going out the door. So let's not do that anymore. Let's try this instead, right? Let's focus on delivering one project at a time. Get one project, then the next, the next. When you do that, two amazing things happen. First of all, nobody's multitasking here. So we've got extra capacity to deliver more projects for free, more eggs. This is fantastic. And we're delivering the value way earlier, more eggs, right? So we're increasing the value. So how are we doing on the valuometer? Well, we've increased quite a bit, right? We're around to here. Let's see if we can get all the way to the golden egg. All right, back to this one. Now, the Iron Mallard is a bit of a technology geek, and he's kind of thinking out of the box. How can we, the obvious thing is to increase capacity, but what else could we do? Well, we could actually push down the water level. And again, increase the number of green eggs and green ducks. So how would we do that? Well, once you've got good prioritization in place, you can plot this. It's called an efficient frontier. So this is our BAU, keep the lights on type project. And this is how much value is being delivered as we spend more money on it. So we spend a little bit of money and we get a bunch of value. Then we spend more money and we get less value. And we spend more money and we're getting less and less value. This is the law of diminishing returns, Pareto's law. This is sometimes called Pareto chart. And so the more you spend, right, the less value you're getting. And most organizations, because these projects are often tagged as must do, keep the lights on projects, they don't really get the level of challenge that they should get. And so you end up doing lots of ducks worth of projects. In this case, we've got 10 ducks worth of projects delivering 8 eggs of value. And these are eggs that the execs don't really care too much about. And that means we've only got two ducks left to do the business strategy, business change, the projects that actually move the business forward. So we're only getting 4 eggs worth of value. So here's an idea. Let's take 2 of these ducks and notice we've lost half an egg of value. Are the executives going to notice half an egg of BAU project value? Probably not. But when you put those 2 ducks into this portfolio, because we're on the steep part of this curve, we get 2 whole new eggs. And these are the eggs that the executives care about, right? So this is really driving that ROI pretty hard. So that's going to take us right the way along to our golden egg zone, right? So we've got these four techniques, and they're fairly simple techniques. And again, there's technology. When we come back here, there's new. When we're doing we talked about AI helping with this piece. There's new AI technology that'll help you do this. Lay your projects out on a timeline in seconds, not in the half a day or full day that it takes you to do it today, but in seconds. And that means you can keep it up to date, and you can keep delivering more eggs, keep that capacity flowing, keep those projects flowing. So a lot of this is really enabled by new technologies that are out there, and because we've now been able to rebalance between our keep the lights on and our business change portfolio, we've been able to put ourselves on top of the higher hill. We've been able to eliminate waste. We've been able to stagger projects and increase the flow of projects and deliver the value earlier. We are now in golden egg territory, where we've doubled the ROI for the leadership team. Okay, just through these 4 techniques. Now, this is not just about the technology, by the way. I've mentioned technology a few times. This isn't just about changing technology. It's actually about deciding to make a change, right? This is all about governance. It's all about portfolio management and governance. And so to get to this, you actually have to engage in a conversation with the business about, hey guys, would you like some eggs? Right, some more eggs? Yes, please. Well, then we're going to have to change the way that we do things and get executive buy-in for that. That's a whole other presentation, which we don't really have time to do today. But at some point we'll get to that. But if you want to know how to have that conversation, I strongly recommend to you Laura Barnard's content online, PMO strategies. Go check that out. And she talks a lot about how to get that executive buy-in. So there we go. I think we're pretty much bang on time there, Joey. That's a lot of content that we fitted in. Again, just a reminder, it looks like Joey's audio isn't working. So just a little bit of a reminder, that QR code will take you to a form where you can fill it in and then download all kinds of ebooks, how-to guides, video guides, all kinds of things to help you get started, not just with implementing these topics, but also starting to build that business case, that case for change, to get the execs excited about more eggs. So Joey, is the sound working yet?
Yes, it is. It is.
There it is.
I can say that this was a truly very inspiring and very interesting presentation. I love the way you went about it. I hope everyone got the most out of this. If you want to be able to, well, obviously, I think through your they can connect with you on LinkedIn and things like that. If you are a member or you join the community of PMO leader, you can have go back and see the presentation and stuff like that too. So if you haven't done so, please do so. It's free, and you get to be able to exchange and connect with people from interesting people like Stuart from all around the world. Cool. So thank you very much, Stuart, for this great presentation. I think it was of great value, and I thank everybody for attending.
Indeed, and thank you to all the volunteers who work so hard to pull this event together. You've done an amazing job. So big round of applause, everyone, for the volunteers, if you would, on the chat. There we go. They're coming in. That's it. There we go. I love it. Well done, guys. Thanks, Joey.
So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great conference.